Hello and welcome to FM Tahiti. We're here for By the Numbers. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're staying safe and enjoying yourselves. In this episode, we might try and squeeze in 2 matches. Who knows? So it's been quite a while since we played a game on camera. I think it might have been all the way back when... Where would it be? I don't know. We lose 4-1 against Coleraine. Was that the last time I was in camera, or was it the County Antrim Shield? It was one of these two, I think. By the way, whatever you saw last on camera was the loss. Pretty sure it was this one, actually. And we won 3 in the trot, and then I changed tactics. I'm going to talk to you more about this tactic in a little bit. But we were winning, and then changed the tactic anyway, because it was something I wanted to sort of try out. Because we'd had this slump. Then we started to come out of it. Then I wanted to try something else. We swapped tactic here, basically. 1-1, drew. 1-1. 1-1 just in the cup there. That was a bit too tight considering the division below. Bit of a tricky streak, but then we were playing Linfield, we were playing Larne. And then managed to get back onto some points with draw against Cliftonville even, and a win against Ballymena United. A little bit of a poor streak again, and then we've had 3 on the trot. Now the league split here, so this is the first game of the split, I think it is. And we ended up in the top half of here. Actually, no, it wasn't the first game of the split, was it? Cliftonville was the first game of the split, so we played 2 in the split, and yeah, we're doing pretty well. We're 4th currently, 47 points after 35, which means we've got the most points we've ever had in the Premiership, so it's a record-breaking season. I think if we get one more win, we've got the most wins we've ever had as well, which is a bit weird considering the points total, but whatever. So we seem to be doing okay there. It's interesting because of where we are, so we're 4 points behind Glenavon. And we are 4 points ahead of Crusaders with the game in hand as well, which is handy. That's why I guess it's called a game in hand. If we go to the rules, whoever finishes in 3rd place gets into the Euro Cup 2 first qualifying round. It gets £103,000. And 4th, 5th, and 6th, 7th goes into European playoffs. And there's a little bit of change in the money, but it's not huge. So if you look at where we are with this, we could creep into 3rd. That would be nice to avoid the playoffs. I don't necessarily think we'll do well in the playoffs here. We are guaranteed to be in the playoffs for a European playoff spot if there is one going. So I would much prefer to try and get in there. So we've got, schedule-wise, Linfield, Larne and Glenavon. We have to get basically a point from Linfield or Larne and beat Glenavon if we want any chance. And to be honest, that would give us 4 points. That would put us on, on the same points as Glenavon, but with this massive goal difference issue going on there. And if you look at the rules as well, it's sorted on goal difference and then goal scored. So there needs to be a big swing. It's unlikely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this match. If we get something, then we'll come back for the Glenavon match. If I don't get something, then I'll play the Larne match off camera. On the hopes we do get something. And if I get something there and it's Larne, then we'll come back for the Glenavon match, but probably won't happen. And then if we end up in the playoffs, we'll come back for the playoffs. Or if we don't, we end up in the Euro Cup first qualifying round or whatever it is, we'll just go and do the end of season summary in the next video from there. There's not much else. We've kind of tried to rattle through this season, partly because I've been really enjoying playing it. There we go. Before we get to the match, I want to show you the tactic now. First of all, this tactic is, I was going to say inspired by, but basically taken from FM Stag. So FM Stag, if you've not read any of his stuff, stop what you're doing now, pause the video, and go to fmstag.com. I think it is all just one word. Let me try this one out. Oops. Yep, all one word, fmstag.com. And he writes a lot of good Football Manager stories, especially around South America at the moment with the strongest series he's got going. But there are a few other ones, including a retro series with Championship Manager. So go check out his stuff. Really good. But basically we were chatting and he showed me a tactic that he said was working wonders for him in his Boca Juniors save. And if you want to see how he's doing in his Boca Juniors. Boca Juniors? Boca Juniors. Boca? Bombonera, whatever. He's doing really well. If you want to see how well he's doing, if you go to the Football Manager Slack, he's got a channel in there. He's also got a channel in the Dictate the Game Discord as well, if you want to try that out. But go check that out. But this is basically inspired from his tactic, which is why I've called it FM Stag Made Me Do It. And the reason why I made this swap, even though the other one was going well, you can already tell this match isn't going to be a good one. But the reason why I went for it is because it had 3 up front. I recently written an article for Dictate the Game about having 3 strikers up front, which is something he tried to try and break down defences. So it keeps this, but changes what's going on here. So if you remember, our battering ram's got 3 up front, but this is different. It's the back that's different. And most of this is pretty much the same as his, so the instructions are more or less the same apart from, I think, crossing. They've changed. And the roles up front here, so he's got different striker roles to me. So I've gone for pressing forward, false 9 and target man, because that's what was working for me before. I know they can play in this, and I like having a target man. It helps make it more direct. But you've got these 3 up here causing problems. You've got the Mazzala down here, going out wide here. You've got the ball winning midfielder controlling here. You've got the regista who can sort of, I don't know, I'll just show you the description of the regista in case you're not familiar with it. There we go. So essentially acting as a kind of playmaker who can wander a bit so they can move up if they need to. Then we've got 2 inverted wing backs who kind of cut in a bit. It makes more sense on this side. I'm not completely sold on the inverted wing back on the right hand side, but also my players aren't very good, so there's that. And then 2 central defenders and your goalkeeper as standard. And I think I've changed, I think, where the crosses come through. Well, I haven't on this one, but I had some of the ones because we've got a target man, so we don't always want low crosses to come through. But basically, he's had a lot of success with this. I like the look of it because it gave me something different here. I like having this kind of 3 in midfield. That's quite nice. And it's quite possession based as well, which you might see when we play this. And I'm starting to think that maybe to take the next step with Belfast, to stop just being sort of pasted every season and having a relegation battle unless we have this kind of really good run at the start, would be to just try and change the way we play gradually, and see if we can control more games and squeeze out more points, because when we play Linfield and Larne, we're getting destroyed, and to be honest, we still are. So when we played with this formation before, we lost 4-1 and we lost 7-3. But in our defence, the last time we played Larne, we lost 7-0. So it is a bit of a difference. So let's see it in action. We need to try and get something against Linfield, the old enemy. Let's get rid of these ones because they're all banned. It's never a good sign, is it? Bring on McVeigh and Boyce. And then on the right hand side, bring back Craig, even though it's not. It's kind of all or nothing. We do need to try and get something from this. And then we have some space on the bench. Smith on. Edgar on. That kind of covers it. There we go. You might notice a few players who are a little bit different, whose names you might not recognise. We've got McManaman. He's one of our youth players. He's rated quite highly, so we thought we'll bring him through because we didn't have as many central midfield players as we'd like, because we've not been playing with many previously because of the kind of wide diamond. It missed out central midfield. It's one of the issues with us trying this, really. Downey's managed to get back in the team and has scored quite a few goals because of that. We've brought Finnegan again in from the youth team who looks like he might be good in the future, playing in that sort of position. Again, not a regista, but it'll do. And let's see how we get on against Linfield. But yeah, so we changed it, and it's not being perfect. You can see from the schedule we've had losses, but we were having losses before with the other tactics. It's not like that was completely unexpected, and we are still very low down the table for wage expenditure compared to some of these big teams. So the gap between us and Linfield is still huge. Our defence is still terrible. Our keeper's still pretty bad. I've been searching to try and improve the back. You can tell from the goal difference as well. But I stuck with it even though we were still conceding a few goals, because the way we play going forward, the way we play possession is actually quite nice. We still have some direct balls going forward, through balls and things like that, but we seem to hold the shape quite nicely for the most part, and good save there. We gradually wear the teams down a little bit more. And what I've noticed from a kind of preliminary XG analysis is that we're producing more shots, so our XG is going up, but also XG is going up by quite a lot because the quality is better. We're still getting a lot of shots in the area, on the edge of the area, so it's not got worse in that sense. It's just got a little bit better, if anything. That was a very boring half, but boring works for us. So remember, if we get a point, this sets us up nicely for the final match against Glenavon, assuming they don't win any points. In the meantime, they're currently not. It's current. Well, it has reminded me there is something else I changed in this tactic from FM Stag's tactic, and I've dropped the defensive line slightly because in some of those games that we lost from kind of balls over the top where our two central defenders just didn't respond quick enough. They were positioned well, but they just didn't react because they're not great defenders. McMenamin in. Ooh, almost. Something from there. So yeah, so they're a bit deeper than they would be just to stop those balls over the top. It seems to be working in the past few games. Go on, Devlin. Not really going anywhere with that, unfortunately. See, we've got 54% possession. We seem to be killing the game off a little bit, but still producing. Remember, in previous games, we'd have lost this by 4 goals, or we would be losing by 4 goals at this point, but we're hanging in there. And when we played them with this tactic for the first time earlier on in the season, before the split in the league, we weren't really used to the tactic then. It hadn't actually been learnt particularly well. And also our team were tired. They're still tired now, look at this. But we'd had quite a bad run of congestion-wise. Let's bring Glenn Byrne on for McMenamin. And I guess Harry Edgar, come on. Oh, what have I done there? Not that way. Harry Edgar needs to come on for Greg. Not that. Third time's a charm. One day I'll buy a new mouse. There we go. This currently works for us. But it's been an enjoyable tactic, and it's still kept the essence of the front three up, together, working together. It still keeps long balls and through balls in, but we just kill games off a little bit more like this. There we go. I think they may have pulled a point out by the looks of it. This might not be good for us. Come on, proved a lot of people wrong. We knocked them off the top of the table by doing that, so they're our old rivals, or Belfast Celtic's old rivals, not necessarily this version of Belfast Celtic. So there we go. 2 games left, and we can finish on 54. Alright? Yeah, we can finish on 54. What happens? Oh, we can't see their results. They drew, so they kept that kind of gap there. Yeah, I completely messed up my maths, didn't I, right at the start? Yeah, completely messed it up. There's a lot more going on than I thought there was. Never mind. every year I do that. Every time there's this kind of mathematical bit, I mess it up. So I'm going to play the Larne match off camera because I don't want you to see us being absolutely destroyed. And then we'll come back for the Glenavon one right at the end if it's still worthwhile. I might come back and just say nothing's happened because something's changed because my maths is terrible. Okay, back a little bit sooner than I'd anticipated because my maths is terrible. And you probably would have worked it out from the other bit. So ignore the maths I did at the start, saying I needed like 4 points because I was missing an entire set of matches from that. This is the current situation. Glenavon are 4 points ahead of us, and they have one game left, which is against us. We've got that game in hand against Larne currently, so we need to get at least a point from Larne, and then we have to hope that we beat Glenavon by a lot of goals. I mean, it depends. If we beat Larne, then it's a slightly different situation, but it's unlikely. So we're going to play this match against Larne. We're probably going to get beaten, which means the next match will probably the next episode will be us doing the kind of playoff stuff. Unless we somehow beat Larne, and then the last game of the season will be us, or the last episode will be us against Glenavon. Well, I don't even know why I bothered to show you this because McGee and O'Connor can't play because of the they're on loan from Larne. Right, let's get Bingham and Brown on instead. McLaughlin can come in here for McGee. Game off for Hughes. What have I done wrong? Done plenty wrong there. Put in there. Oh, this will have to work. Give this a go. We can't really rotate and swap too many players out just because we don't have many. And it's kind of all or nothing. Yes, our best result against Larne recently this season has been a 7-3 loss. So let's see what we can do. Yeah, sorry, my maths is terrible. I don't know why. Oh, that's a bad mistake. They've got so many really good strikers. They've already won the title. Well, I think they've won a treble, actually. There you go, Jackie Harkin. Oh, yeah, they've already won. So I was hoping maybe they'd be lenient. But it doesn't look like it. Danced around us in their purple bricks kit. Right, 1 goal. We can come back from that. 2 goals. Technically, we've done it. We've scored 3 against them before. I'll be honest, if we go 4 goals down, I'm probably just not going to show you all of this match. Still going into it. It's 10 minutes past and we're already 2 goals down. Well, one thing I want to point out, which I didn't really make enough of in the last match, is that draw against Linfield. It's actually a really good result. I think we managed to draw and beat Linfield once before. Did we beat them? Definitely drew against them. Or we may have knocked them out in a cup on penalties in the end, I think it was. But basically, they are a big side. Linfield and Larne are the 2 biggest sides in the league by an order of magnitude because of the money involved. Greg Baxter McVeigh. Oh, we could have maybe brought Strain back from his suspension, actually. All the defenders, Strain, McVeigh, Boyce, Robinson. I'm looking to potentially replace them all. What I've started doing, I've already started scouting and planning for next season, is get rid of that. On Bingham. Counters on. Running into the corner, he's going nowhere with that. Oh, McMenamin. Yeah, so what I started doing is I had a look around to see who's interested, generally, and then by position. There was a keeper from, I can't remember if it was Larne or Linfield, who looked really good, who were willing to talk to me off the contract, and then it fell through because Larne extended their contract. They used an option. I have found, I think, another sort of youth keeper to come in who's rated. Oops, didn't tell any of the players anything there. Just click straight through. Yeah, so they've got a keeper who looks like he might be better than Ronnie McDonald, which is good. So there's that. And then for a lot of other players, I started looking through that is terrible. Straight through. Yeah, I started looking through the stats from the lower leagues. It's like the player stats in terms of chances created, interceptions, key tackles, key passes, that kind of thing. Take some of them with a pinch of salt, because I think things like expected assists are better than chance created in Football Manager anyway. But it's what's there, and I can't really go through all of them and work it out. I just don't have the time for that, unfortunately. But I've been using those kind of base stats to give me an idea of some of the kind of gems that might be penalty. Basically, this penalty goes in, I'll stop recording and come back at the end of the match. It's going to go in. Right, there we go. I'm not going to put you through seeing the rest of it. We've never scored more than 4 goals against Larne. We don't look like it. It's 20 shots to this 3, so it looks like we're going to go into the European playoffs, and 4th may be the best we finish, which is still a good finish for us. It's just a bit disappointed. One extra game of the season, we might have managed it. Never mind. Oh, Bingham, go on, we'll do this attack. Gone nowhere. Never mind. So here we are. We lost 8-2 in the end. So 6-0, or the loss of 6 goals, so a bit worse than last time. Not as bad as 7-0. We did have a player sent off, but they did only score 2 of their goals after that. Niall Finnegan scored his first ever goal for the club, and we got the kind of he'll remember this goal, or he'll remember his first goal. I think you'll remember the part he played in the 8-2 demolition, whilst Larne went and got into 3 digits, 3 figures for their point total, which is impressive. Goal difference isn't far off there either. That's the gap. I always do this, but if you look at team stats, that they're spending 4.1 per annum, and we're spending 196. So yeah, it's quite a gap over there. So yeah, so apparently according to this, we've qualified for the Championship group, which is the European for the Championship group, and qualified for the European playoff. What are these? Are these different? What have I done? Right, let's quickly look at the rules, because I don't understand what's going. Why are these? That's the relegation playoff. European place. Quarterfinal. Semi-final. Final one. Right, so I don't know what this Championship group is. I thought we were in the Championship group. Never mind. We'll come back for some European playoff action. I won't show you the Glenavon game, because it doesn't matter a huge deal, because 4th is where we're going to finish. We can't finish 3rd, we're not going to finish 5th as it stands, so we'll come back for that, and thanks very much for watching.